The Athletic just dropped their 2022 NBA redraft, and I love making these and reacting to these. So we're going to see what their lead draft guy, Sam Vecini, has to say about this draft. Now, in past NBA drafts, it's pretty easy to agree on the order or how it should have went, but this draft is the most recent one. So this is just basically off of one season of data, of film, and he puts in capitals. This is not a ranking based only on how they performed as rookies. Rather, it's a ranking based on where I'd rate them on how they performed this year, how some of the holes in their game translate towards being patched up, and how they figure to grow and mature. So basically, off potential, this is what he thinks. For example, he says Walker Kessler this year was a top 3 rookie, but would he take him over Jaden Ivy? Maybe not, because of the long-term upside and potential Ivy has as a two-way guard. So it's no surprise he has Paolo Banchero going number 1 to the Orlando Magic in the redraft. Yeah, this is 100% the right pick. He was almost a unanimous rookie of the year. Some voters voted for Walker Kessler, which just didn't make sense. But yeah, Banchero goes number 1 in the redraft. It's crazy because this was like the first draft in a while where the number 1 pick really wasn't announced or the public didn't know it till like the day of the draft. Like in past drafts in 2020, we knew it was going to be Anthony Edwards. In 2021, we definitely knew it was going to be Cade Cunningham. 2019, obviously Zion. But yeah, it was like supposed to be Jabari Smith, and that ends up being Banchero on draft night. And funny enough, he is like by far the unanimous pick here. Jalen Williams jumps up to number 2 to the OKC Thunder. Now, in my redraft that I did a short on this channel, I had Chet Holmgren still going at 2 because we didn't really get to see him, and I still think the potential is high enough as an elite defensive player who could eventually space the floor. That is valuable enough at 2, but we know what Jalen Williams can do as a playmaking wing, and I'm perfectly fine with him here at 2. I ended up having him at 3 in my redraft, and he also has Chet Holmgren at number 3. Dropping 1 spot, I guess Jalen Williams is the only player that he saw this year that could have a higher potential to have Chet drop a spot in the redraft. So yeah, I don't really have any gripes with the first 3 picks. Obviously, Paolo's 1's good. Williams 2 and Chet 3, I'm okay with. Jaden Ivy, number 4. Okay, he was originally the 5th overall pick, so I think that's a little high. Maybe a tad bit, maybe a little bit. There's some other players I would maybe consider, possibly Benedict Mather at this pick. You can even say Walker Kessler at this pick if you think he could be an elite rim protector, big man in the NBA. Don't know if he's ever going to develop like a consistent jump shot, but Ivy does show the potential offensively because like his efficiency to start his rookie season wasn't great, but it's never really great for rookie guards in their first season. They're usually inefficient. They take a lot of bad shots. They try to force a lot, and then they get better over the season, which we saw from Ivy on the offensive end. We do need to see him improve his defense, though, in the offseason for sure. Whoa, Shaedon Sharpe, number 5 to the Portland Trailblazers. Okay. This is basically, as of upside, athletically, a dynamic shot creator. I mean, what we saw from Shaedon Sharpe in the last 2 weeks of the season, really, like, I could see him averaging 25 in the NBA one day. But then again, he was doing it against maybe lesser competition, but he was still a rookie who didn't play collegiate basketball. He reclassed, went to Kentucky, was supposed to be there in the second half of the college basketball season, but Calipari was like, no, we don't want you playing with this team. It's going to ruin kind of the mojo, the culture. It wouldn't be fair to the players currently playing. So he just sat out that college basketball season and went to the NBA, and yeah, final 10 games of the season, he averaged 23.7 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. Like, he could be really good, and I don't know if it's going to be in Portland, depending on what they do with Dame in the offseason, but yeah, he would be going here 5th in the redraft. Whoa, Jeremy Shohan, 6th. I mean, with the defensive upside, possibly. Will he be a good 3-point shooter in the NBA? Maybe. If he could be, if he could develop a 3-point shot where it's consistent enough and being a 6'9" versatile defender, I guess that's really valuable, man. Like, that's somebody that's probably going to go top 10 in a redraft. He, I believe, went 9th in my redraft, but, so funny enough, I think staying at 9. And yeah, man, I see the potential there with Jeremy Shohan, because that is such a valuable player in this league. If you can be a facilitator, you could play defense, you could shoot the 3 ball as a power forward who could play even the center spot on the defensive end and be a good rebounder. I'm excited to see Jeremy Shohan's development there in San Antonio. Next up, we have Keegan Murray, 7th, who was an elite 3-point shooter as a rookie and played well for the Sacramento Kings in the playoffs, what you'd expect from a rookie as well. So he's still going in the top 10, but dropping a little bit. And Jabari Smith here at 8th drops 5 spots, originally going 3 to the Rockets, goes 8 here. Who had the 8th pick? This was the Pelicans, right? This was the Dyson Daniels selection. That's low. I had him dropping as well in my redraft. Now, he was just inefficient to start the year, but he also inherited the worst position, or is he also inherited? He also joined one of the worst really rookie spots to be in. This team had no direction, no team culture. The coach basically got fired 20 games into the season, but wasn't announced till the end of the year, and really didn't have a veteran to lead him throughout his rookie year. So I think like this is a fair spot for Jabari Smith, but I think if we're going off potential, I think he has higher potential than being the 8th best player in this class. I think maybe you can say he has higher potential than the two players in front of him in Jeremy Sochan and Keegan Murray. I don't know if, like, yes, Sochan offers that defensive versatility, but I don't know if Keegan Murray's ever going to be more of a well-rounded offensive player than Jabari Smith, because we saw stretches from Jabari Smith where he could be an elite three-point shooter for somebody at his position, and if he could be a versatile big man where you could play him at the 4, you could play him at the 5, man, that's incredibly valuable, and I could see him as somebody that can average north of 20 points, north of 10 rebounds a night, and also be a good playmaker and shoot well from 3, and I could maybe just value Jabari Smith's offensive peak higher than I could maybe value Jeremy Sochan's like all-around versatility or Keegan Murray's elite three-point shooting. Next up, 9, we have Walker Kessler. Oh, man, okay. Walker Kessler going 9th here when he was a top 3 rookie this year. Probably had him as the 3rd best rookie behind Paolo and Jalen Williams. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's what you would expect from somebody that doesn't have a lot of offensive versatility or offensive upside. He's not going to be somebody that's going to be able to create his own shot, move off the dribble, move off ball. Like, he's somebody that's going to be a strict pick and roll center, catch lobs, get offensive rebounds, be an inside guy. If he could develop that mid-range to 3-point shot, boy, like, sky's the limit for Walker Kessler, because we know how great of a defender he is as a rim protector, shot blocker, somebody that can get into the passing lanes as well, and can be an elite, like, or just decoy candidate throughout his career. But 9, I get the reasoning. 10, Benedict Mather in a redraft, though. I feel like, is Keegan Murray really going above Benedict Mather in a redraft? I just feel like what we've seen, and even Jeremy Sochan, and do we really want to say, like, Shaedon Sharpe would go above Benedict Mather in a redraft? I guess Sharpe has higher upside, but, like, I don't know. I thought what we saw from Mather was like an elite, not like an elite scorer, but like a really good scorer right out the gate. The efficiency you'd want to maybe be a little bit better, but it's somebody that was just playing in his rookie season, and he was asked to shoot the ball a lot right out of the gate. Yeah, I'd like for his defensive kind of style to improve, but same thing with Jaden Ivy, and I think this might be a little bit low for Benedict Mather. Next up, we have AJ Griffin going in the lottery. I'm fine with this. I really thought AJ Griffin was going to be a lottery pick on draft night, and somebody that could be a really good 3D player in the NBA is super valuable. So yeah, I think he would still go in the lottery there, or now jump into the lottery, I should say. Jalen Duren, 12 here, around the same spot. I think, like, yeah, he falls in the same bucket as Walker Kessler, unless he's going to be a dominant guy like he is in 2K, just like inside, and is going to shoot 70% from the field and just be like a dominant rim runner. I can't see him getting in the top 10. Like, you could probably only have one of these guys, and that's going to be Walker Kessler in the top 10. But Jalen Duren looked very good in his rookie season. Dyson Daniels definitely just going to drop off a little bit. Still has that defensive potential as somebody that, yeah, like you can see, 6'7" guard. He can pretty much guard almost anybody on the floor, and you can ask him to switch on ball, off ball. But what we saw from the offensive end was definitely really raw. But that was what we expected. Mark Williams, really liked what I saw from him in the second half of the season. He could honestly make a debate for being above Jalen Duren here. We have Eason at 15. I loved him going into the draft. He was one of my favorite players just because of like the hustle stats. I thought he was just going to be somebody that was just going to run up and down the floor. He was going to get steals, get blocks, offensive rebounds, and just be that all-around hustle guy that you want to draft. Thought it was kind of a perfect spot to be at 17 because it was the Rockets' second first-round pick, and I think this is a fine spot for him in the redraft. Christian Brown, the only rookie still really getting minutes here in the Western Conference semifinals, or in the conference semifinals as a whole right now, and he's looked great, man. I don't think he's ever going to be a top 3 player on a championship team, or even top maybe 5, but somebody that can shoot the ball well, can play defense, can rebound, can facilitate, can just move in transition, hustle up and down the floor, is just a player that every contending team wants, and perfect spot for him in Denver, man. They really hit it out of the park with that selection. Jaden Hardy, 17. If we're going off potential, though, like if we're going back to his overall idea and kind of theme here, I feel like 17 might be too low for Jaden Hardy. Like, why do we have Jaden Hardy lower than Mark Williams? Or why do we have Jaden Hardy lower than Jalen Duren? Which is fine if you want to have those guys above him, but why do we have Benedict Mather below Walker Kessler? Or Jeremy, I don't know, like, right? There's a little bit of hypocrisy, I guess you could say here. So I don't really get that too much, because Hardy became a really good 3-point shooter and somebody that could maybe be a 3-level scorer at his peak, like a really good one that could shoot above 50% at the rim and shoot above 40% at the 3 throughout stretches. And you're like, okay, who's stopping this guy? I don't know. I was really big on Jaden Hardy going into the draft. I thought he should definitely have been a first-round pick. I was surprised that he fell to the second round because the potential was there. it was a low risk, high reward pick, and Dallas, they got a really nice pick there in the second round. Andrew Nembhard at 18. I think this is because he's older coming out of Gonzaga. We're close to what he's going to be as a peak NBA player for him, and I think 18 is fine. Ochai Agbaji, 19, similar, a little bit older coming out of Kansas. The potential really isn't as high as some of the other guys ahead of him. Malachi Branham, I would maybe put above Nembhard and above Ochai Agbaji as well. I was super high on Branham coming out of Ohio State, and I'm really excited to see what he could do next year. And then, is that it? Does he only do the top 20? It looks like it. So he has Johnny Davis. I don't think I would have had Johnny Davis in the top 20 in a redraft. Ousmane Dieng, super raw as a prospect, and I think what we saw, this was actually a pretty solid draft class this year for the rookie seasons. I don't think I would have him in there. Same with Dalen Terry, even though he was going to be a project. Jake Ravi I probably wouldn't have had in there as well. Marjon Beauchamp, he would not have cracked my top 20. Ty no. Peyton Watson, definitely not. Christie, no. Koloko, no. Jalen Williams, I don't know. And then Jabari Walker. Okay, so yeah, I don't really think any of these guys I would have considered too highly to be over Branham or Agbaji, Nembhard. I think that's actually a pretty accurate top 20. I think I would have just changed the order a little bit. And I think we're maybe a little too low on Mathurin and Jaden Hardy. So let me know what you guys think of this 2022 redraft down below. I made a short on my channel as well if you want to see my top 10 in a redraft. Thank you all for watching. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.